I am the member primarily responsible for gas at NERSA. Today, the members that are going to take decisions in this meeting, I am joined by the chairperson of the energy regulator, Mr. Thembani Bukula. Mr. Bukula, may you please greet?
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. I am also joined by Ms. Precious, Ms. Sibia.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the colleagues at NERSA and also good morning to the members of the public. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am also joined by the CEO of NERSA, Advocate Nomalanga Sithole, who is the member of this committee and the member of NERSA. Advocate Sithole.
Good morning, Chairperson and members and everyone who has joined us for this meeting this morning. Thank you, Chairperson.
Very much. Last but not least, I am joined by the member primarily responsible for and the member of the Pipe Gas Committee and various other committees and the MUSI.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to the fellow attendees to this meeting, as well as the members of the public following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Member, before us, it is here for adoption. With of item was the Sasol gas monthly gas volume balance for the month of March. It will be discussed today. To adopt the agenda at point of Walter, may you assist? I audible members. Sorry, Mr. Elias.
You are breaking, ma'am. Now and again. I thought maybe it was on my side, ma'am. You are breaking now and then.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just alert me.
Okay, ma'am. If you could move around maybe or change devices, ma'am. But yeah, you break now and then. Yeah.
All right. It's much better. I was not aware of that.
It's still happening, ma'am. We can hear you, but it just breaks your sentences.
Mr. Mkhize, may you please step in?
Thank you, Madam Asseti.
Please step in, Mr. Mkhize.
May you please, members, indicate support for the agenda by show of hands? If you do support the agenda, adoption of the agenda, except for that one item. Thank you, Madam Sibia, Advocate Sithole, Madam Asseti, Mr. Bukula. I also support. Let's then proceed to the declaration of interest. If there are any interest to declare by show of hands, members, everyone here. I see that there are none, and I also take it that there are forms that you need to fill and share them with the Secretariat, with Mr. Eliezer Dlamini, the Secretary for this meeting. We'll then proceed to the next agenda item, members. And I hope that Mr. Ngumalo and the team are standing ready to assist with the report on the monitoring of Eliza Gas Limited's compliance with the approved transmission tariffs for the period 1 June 2023 to 28 February 2025. Over to you, sir, and the team.
Thank you, Chairperson. This is a report basically that details the manner in which Eliza Gas, and Eliza Gas is one of the new licenses that came onto the industry fairly recently. So there was a tariff that was approved for Eliza Gas, And this report then looks at how they've complied with that tariff. And this is for the period 1st June 2023 to 28 February 2025. Chairperson, the assessment shows that EDSI has complied with the Section 4H of the Gas Act as it charged its customer a tariff that was approved by NERSA for this period. And that tariff is shown under table number 1 with the volumes that are entailed. Elisa Gas also had one customer for this period, and as such, as previously directed by the PGS, Section 22 does not apply to it, and there was no discrimination between any customers. Chairperson, we've provided a comparison of the tariff approved by NERSA against that one that was charged by ELISA, and this is on table 2 and table 3. And this shows that ELISA did charge a tariff that was approved by NERSA. I think there was only one exception in the period June to September 2023, where they charged a tariff that was slightly higher. But then to correct that situation, they then subsequently issued credit notes to the customers that were involved, and thereby correcting and remedying the situations. So, Chairperson, the recommendations are on page 7 under paragraph 14, and for approval that EDSA has actually complied with the tariff that was charged by NERSA. Chair, maybe with your permission, let me find out if my colleagues, Ms. Makota or Ms. Mhlongo wants to add anything.
Nothing to add, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Then I take it that you have covered both of you. May I then please have questions, comments, as well as any guidance from the members? By show of hands, please, members. I see Madam Spear. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you to the presenters. Chair, just a small issue, just an observation on the tariff applied versus the maximum tariff. Is it normal that the difference is this much, close to 50% or more? I'm just asking from the variance. To me, it's very wide. Is it normal? Is there nothing abnormal about that? Just that.
Thank you, Madam Spear. I see no other hand. Maybe just please so you can. Oh, there seem to be another hand. Oh no, with no hand, I just also got one question from my side, linked to what Madam Spear has said, Mr. and the team. The under 4.15, that drop, that sudden drop, how do you explain it? And I was just asking myself, is the tariff applied not also confidential as opposed to the tariff that is approved by NERSA, which isn't? Just like to check that. And then secondly, the issue of credit notes. Were those credit notes issued due to your compliance monitoring, or they're just done them on their own volition without being pushed by anyone? I would like to understand that. The other things are just small things that I will send to you. If you may just respond to those questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think the variance between what was charged and what was approved by NERSA is usually detailed in the table just to demonstrate whether the licensee has complied with the tariff that was approved. And in certain instances, you'll find that the licensee actually charges a tariff that is significantly lower than what NESA approved. So there is nothing wrong with that, Chairperson, as long as it does not exceed the threshold or the tariff that was approved by the energy regulator. We normally accept that because operationally, there are situations or instances where the licensee is able to actually charge the tariff at that level and still be able to recover its costs and continue its operations. But the only requirement is that it should not be above the threshold that was approved by NES. Chairperson, with regard to the credit notes, I think I'll just ask my colleagues to confirm whether the credit notes were issued as a result of an intervention from the team side, or they were issued by the licensee on its own.
Okay, before we go there, I can see that Madam Masati sent this up, and your response, if there's any addition to it, because I don't think that we should just be happy with the variance, no matter what the variance is, because it talks to the relevance of our approved tariff. So it's something that we need to pay some close attention to, even if it is lower. The quantum still matters in terms of the relevance and what could cause a person to push for a high tariff in terms of application of applying and have something much smaller than that. But let me get Madam Massetti and then further responses, then we can be able to move towards the resolution. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Mr. Mkhize, in line with what you have said, I was going to ask Ms. Magoda if she has specific reasons on this matter, but if not, without wasting the time of the committee, the team can come back to the committee with specific reasons as to what happened in this case. Indeed, it's a good observation that the variance is quite high, and also it cannot be high when it comes to the tariff, given the methodologies that we are using, the rate of return, because you use the cost that you are going to incur. So you can't go beyond the cost. Otherwise, then it will be no cost. And therefore, you are not, making money for the business. So it is very strange, this kind of a situation, irrespective of the fact that the tariff that is set is but given the methodology, which only takes into account the cost, and I think in this case, we used the discounted cash flow methodology, if I'm not mistaken, if I go back. So now we want to check where the threat was, if there was any threat, or there are other specific circumstances that led this licensee to reduce the tariff extent. So those are the two things that must be checked, and then we will come back with fix. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Makota, in terms of completing the responses.
Chairperson, we did not get any explanation as to the reasons why the tariff is lower than when they applied. From our side, we believe that perhaps it's a matter of them being unable to forecast since they were a new applicant. But Chair, if you can allow us to come back with a proper explanation on this one. And then with regard to the credit notes, Chairperson, it was as a result of our monitoring work. When we did monitor and ask for the evidence, we realized that there were 3 months that the tariff was which the applicant charged a tariff higher than what was approved, and therefore they did issue a credit note. I note that the annexures were somehow missed in this submission, so we will forward the annexures, which also shows the credit notes that were provided. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. May we please then ensure that you do and make the requisite enhancement talking to this issue and that we take the other matters as being action items emanating from this submission. I will leave it at that, and then request that we move to the recommendation, which is to approve that ELISA Gas complied with Section 4H of the Gas Act 2001, Act number 48 of 2001, read with the guidelines for transmission tariffs by charging its customers an actual tariff that is below the approved transmission tariffs in the period 1 June 2023 to 28 February 2025, and that ELISA Gas has a single customer, and therefore Section 22 of the Gas Act is not applicable in the period 1 June 2023 to 28 February 2025. As we do this subject to the comments and enhancements that have been put forward by members. By show of hands, members, if you decide. Act number 48 of 2001. Over to you, Mr. Mumba and the team.
Thank you, Chairperson. In this report, really what we are providing is just for the benefit of the subcommittee, just a glimpse of all the operations that were registered. And this was since around 2010. And the status of each and every one of these operations. Members would have noticed that these include large-scale, small-scale producers and importers of gas, and these are mostly located in some cities, in provinces, but also in rural areas. Chairperson, we've registered quite a numerous or a number of these operations in the provinces of Limpopo, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, and the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape. Most of these operations actually produce gas for own use in their operations, and others or most of the industrial gas is actually produced by Social Synfuels, which is a company under the Social stable. And this is followed by a company called Energy Joburg, rather, and lastly, Distel. Chairperson, the best pattern of gas produced by industrial producers is shown in Figure 3 for Social Synfuels. And when you look at that pattern, you'll notice that the gas production increased from around 21 million gigajoules in 2020 to 30 million gigajoules in 2024. And Tetra4 is shown in Figure 4, and their volumes increased from about 10,000 gigajoules in 2020 to around 152 gigajoules in 2023. That's a notable, significant increase when it comes to Tetra4. And then PetroSA's volumes are shown on Figure 5, and this show a significant decline, contrary to the others, in production from 20,000 gigajoules in 2020 to only 202 gigajoules in 2024. Then lastly, we show Energy Joburg's volumes on Figure 6, and Distel's volumes are shown on Figure 7. And Chairperson, some of these operations, like Energy Joburg, Distel, have got a number of units that operate under that company, the holding company. And you'll see that in the draft, we tried to provide just an indication of what each unit is producing and how different that is from the other units. In certain instances, there's one unit that's producing much more than the other units. And we've also shown the volumes that are produced by SAB, which is now under the SA InBev stable, having been taken over by InBev. Its volumes increased from 68,000 in 2020 to around 197,000 in gigajoules in 2024. And this was mainly for the Roslyn unit that is producing much more than the other 4 units within that stable. And lastly, we've then provided the volumes produced by Woodlands Dairy. This is located in the Eastern Cape at Humansdorp. Its volumes increased slightly from 22,000 in 2020 to 38,000 in 2023. But then they just experienced a decline with regard to the year 2024, down to around 23,000 gigajoules. There are 10 facilities that are no longer operational, and this include Eskom synthetic gas production operation in Amersfoort in Mpumalanga, Novo Energy Seven's operation in Ekurhuleni. There's another operation in Dundee called the Dundee Biogas Power. Anglo American's thermal coal business, which has been sold to a coal-based company called Tungela. The Sapref unit at Prospecton in KZN, which halted its operations in 2022. And other operations are Countermeat in Kronstadt, Sacro Power in Mandeni, New Horizon Waste, and Eglin in the Western Cape. Those that were registered are not yet commissioned include Greenway Farms in Dalton, Gauteng, Lukanyiso Energy Center in Machabeng in the Free State Province, Tshwane Center in Bronkhorstspruit. And in addition, we have registered 89 small-scale production facilities. These are mostly located in rural areas in KZN, Limpopo, and the Western Cape. Those that are currently active are shown under paragraph 6.93, and they're located in Montagu, Western Cape, Malmesbury, Western Cape, Roodeplaat in Pretoria, Giyani in Limpopo, North Hook, Eshowe, Ndwedwe, and Menmouth in KZN. The report also shows companies that were registered to import gas through Romco pipeline. There's about 6 of these, as shown on table 5 and 6. And only 3 of these have started operating. The others are still finalizing their operations and agreements, and will soon start also importing the gas and or conducting their operations. And lastly, Chairperson, the report shows companies that were registered to import LNG. And as members will see under table 6, there's about 6 of those. And most of the registered facilities in terms of the numbers are really small biogas production operations, which are located at many households in KZN, Limpopo, and Western Cape. And the recommendations, Chairperson, are on page 47 under paragraph 14, really for the subcommittee to note this report with regard to what is it that we have registered and what is the status of each and every one of these operations. Chairperson, I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Numalo. I'll just give the members an opportunity to raise any questions, ask a comment, or give guidance. But on your table 6, I'm not so sure whether the status is correct with regard to Kappa, Sheep, and DNG operations. If you can just confirm that, because I thought they're not operational yet. But I stand to hear from you confirming. I've got Madam Sbia with a raised hand, then Mr. Pukula, in that order, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the presenter. I just, no, thank you for the report. I think as we looking at the gas for the country, I think this is a very critical report to look at, and also whilst we are noting the challenges that we are facing with the Mozambique side, so it's crucial to have this report presented here. But I just wanted to talk about, when you talk about the company, those that are no longer operational, you talk about 652 up to, I think, to 672 or somewhere, yeah, or 676. I think it is very critical that, because these companies and also those that are not yet commissioned, it's very critical for the next few years to determine the sources of gas, to actually get the dates and firm up on the dates of when will they start to be operational or when will they be commissioned. So one of them is SAPREF. I know that there was a discussion with the KZN government. I hear you mention CEF, that they have acquired the SAPREF unit, but there were discussions also with the KZN government to actually make sure that it is operational ASAP. So we really need to get the latest information, and also the gigajoules produced to be very, very close when we do the estimations, so that we can see from the country where we're going to get those. That are happening within the space of gas. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam Sbia. Noting also that you've got, this oil and gas, they tend to go together. But some of the issues will then pertain to the oil side, which is petroleum side. To Mr. Pukula and then to Advocate Story.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, for me, two comments. One is the 6.1. Be assisted about which ones are these LNG that we are referring to that have been meeting the commercial and industrial demand. Those are my
but we're mentioning the years, but we do not really indicate the reasons for the decline. Just to enhance the report, I thought it will be proper to just give a brief sort of factors that.
And then out of it, we can be able to not just take a report, but to then do the best, be optimal in terms of using.
Interaction with those entities. I think that's indicated, and I think we had indicated this also at the previous subcommittee meeting, that they experienced some challenges and they had not yet been able to actually start over. So we'll correct that table, Chairperson, to reflect that. And Ms. Bia's comment, I think, was really just guidance and just the firming up enhancements of the report by firming up the dates when those operations that have not yet commenced operation will be commissioned, and will engage obviously with the registrants just to get those dates, and we'll also liaise with the petroleum team with regard to matters that are related to petroleum, and then we can maybe just update the committee in our next report on those issues. And then on Mr. Pikula's questions, paragraph 6.13, I think we will correct that, Mr. Pikula, regarding the financial challenges that are referred to in there. And yeah, we agree that maybe it was basically not correct to put it that way. It will be enhanced and corrected. And under 6.1.34, the reference to LNG imports, and I think I touched on this already earlier, I think we'll correct that table as well, Mr. Pikula, just to reflect the fact that none of these operations that were registered to import LNG have actually commenced. And I think we'll just keep updating the committee as and when any of them start commencing, and with regard to also their plans into the future with regard to LNG importation. And then lastly, on Mrs. Sitole, or Advocate Sitole's question, I think it was just an enhancement comment about what to enhance under paragraph relating to Petro SA's volumes. Advocate Sitole, what we'll do will actually just enhance the report to indicate exactly the reasons for that decline, but also try maybe to engage with the registrant to find out if there are any other challenges that they've experienced.
Maybe produced locally. So I think it's probably important that we clarify, that the scale or the LNG that is produced in Velcom by Renegen, which is a company associated with Tetra 4. It has started and it looks like they are going to reach a phase where they increase the production of LNG. And most of that LNG, I think it is used for as for transportation and also used in trucks like a small scale LNG. So I think maybe there we need to also just update the committee with regards to the increases, as there are also reports showing that it is that company is likely to get to the next stage, and there is some, financial investments that have been made to assist it to reach what is it? The phase 2 of its project. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sudan. We note all of that, and I think that is important to also ensure that when we're talking of the gas, we if there's also production of CNG accompanying the LNG, should be stated also as such. With regard to the shale gas, because at some point it looked like the only plausible and significant gas resource that the country could exploit. I think it's important to be up to date in terms of where we stand there. I think under paragraph 4.1, that can also be enhanced to talk to the latest with regard to the efforts that are put towards the development of that resource. With those enhancement members, I would just like to know if you then support the recommendation for the pipe gas subcommittee to note the 5-year assessment report of registered gas facilities in terms of Section 28 of the Gas Act. By show of hands, please. Thank you, Mr. Pukula, Madam Sibiya, Advocate Tole, Madam Maseti. I also support, and I hand over to Madam Maseti to proceed with the meeting. Thank you as the chair. Thank you for your cooperation thus far.
Thank you, Mr. Mkize, and thank you for assisting with the chairing of the meeting. At this point in time, we are now getting to item number 7. Item number 7 is the noting of the FTRM's implementation of the initiation of investigation into a fire incident that occurred on Sasol Gas's distribution pipeline located in Pretoria West, the area of Tshwane. The matter is before the committee, and I would like to check if the committee has any guidance to provide on this matter, and in terms of how the investigation ensued and what transpired. Members, the initiation report is there. It is for the noting. The FTA is by the energy regulator, so it is important that the committee has some monitoring on these aspects. So the report is here, and then the committee, that initiation, the FTRM has instructed the energy regulator. Also just note the investigation initiation report, which is attached as Annexure 1. Do members have anything to perhaps add on this for the investigation itself, or are members happy to then note the initiation report as well as the implementation of the instruction? By show of hands, members, if you're happy to take the decision for the noting. Thank you, Mr. Pukula. Thank you, Advocate Tole. Thank you, Ms. Sibiya. Mr. Mkize, are you happy?
Happy to support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, I also support. Thank you very much. This is the last item to be discussed under the open meeting, or the open part of our meeting. At this point in time, I would like to then thank the stakeholders who are following the discussions of today's meeting. The meeting is now closed for the members of the